Welcome back. So 8 games tonight. If you're looking for reviews of the first 2 games of the day, already on the channel, got their own videos, all set to go and good. Tonight's 8 games. There was a few involving teams that aren't making the playoffs, but because of the way that tonight was scheduled, I had time to watch everything that was being shown on TV. Some of the games were close, others not so much. All right, starting off with Arizona and Boston, and I said trap. And you know what's funny? Boston wins this, and I'm wearing Boston, and they win it, but they almost sprung the trap. So it's Vejmelka versus Swayman in this one. Carlo breaks up an early chance. We then have Smith score from Nosek and Foligno at 2:33. That is the 6th goal in 5 games for Craig Smith. He is absolutely killing it right now. Bruins get a power play after that. There was a close call for Krause, shorthanded opportunity for him. Bergeron's denied, and then shorthanded Keller was denied as well. So definitely some shorthanded opportunities there for Arizona. After the kill, the Coyotes get a power play. That was killed off. They get 3 shots on it. And then Smith scores the second of the period from Frederick and Coyle at 10:49, although the app switched it to Frederick's goal, and then they switched it back to Smith. So it's still Smith's as far as I know. Things get kind of scrummy after a Ritchie hit. Pasternak has a blast that's blocked, and then there's another close call to a goal by Pasta, but it's 2-0 after the first in favor of Boston. Second period. Krause misses one wide, and then the next opportunity he has goes high. The shots are 3 apiece at 4.5 minutes. The Coyotes get a power play. Kessel's denied. That power play's killed off. Lazar ends up hitting the post. The Coyotes press with 7 minutes left. Pasternak's denied again. There were so many opportunities for him tonight, he doesn't end up getting on the board. And then with 1 second left, 1 second left, it's Keller from Mayo and Schmaltz, which of course means it's 2-1 for Boston after 2, and that's where the uh-oh comes in. Is Arizona going to steal this? Third period, early chance for the Bruins was held onto by Vejmelka, who had another excellent game. Marchand's denied by Mosier, and then it's Ritchie on a rebound. Nick Ritchie scores against his former team from Hayton and Maselli at 2:15. So, again, Nick Ritchie putting up some goals and points for Arizona. Can't wait till they flip him at the deadline and get something back, and Toronto end up trading him off for bupkis, basically. So the Bruins have a 2-on-1 that misfires. Riley's denied as the Bruins press. There's shots, are 5-2 for the Bruins at 6 minutes. They're playing well. Nosek has a shot that's blocked as the Bruins press. They press again with 7.5 minutes left. Marchand was into it with Keller. I'm not sure what started that, but you could see these two don't like each other very much. And Clayton Keller is capable of chirping with pretty much anybody. So Marchand might have met a younger player who is capable of chirping along with him at this point. So Coyle ends up scoring at 16:39 from Frederick and McAvoy to put Boston back in the lead. So this is where things get kind of tense. They pull the goalie in the last minute with 40.8 seconds left. The Coyotes call a timeout. They had some opportunities and some looks, could not bury it. The Bruins hang on. Those goals in the last minute have been the bane of the existence of the Bruins. They did not allow it tonight. So your 3 stars in this victory for the Boston Bruins, that puts them at 36-18-5. Arizona now at 18-36-4. Your 3 stars are Smith, Coyle, and Swayman. Swayman had a good game. Shots 14-11 Boston in the first, 12-11 Boston in the second, 14-7 Boston in the third. The final shots are 40-29 for Boston. And while Swayman getting the star is good, why not Vejmelka? He was fantastic. Power plays 0-2 for Arizona, 0-1 for Boston. Hits 26-24 Boston. Vejmelka saves 37 out of 40. Swayman saves 27 out of 29. So again, I probably would have leaned towards Vejmelka in this, because he keeps this one close and makes things tense in that final minute. Without Vejmelka saving the day quite a bit in that third period, this game would have been over before it was. But anyways, moving along. Seattle. So this is a matchup between two teams near at the bottom of the league, right? And, you know, Montreal, this is one of those ones that gets away from them, but honestly, this is not a game that means a lot unless you're one of the players in the game who's looking to up your stock going into the draft, or trade deadline, I should say, or at least looking to keep your job going into next season. So, in this one, we have Grubauer versus Montembeault. Lynn tips a chance wide. The shots are 3-2 for the Habs at 5 minutes. Habs get a power play. That's killed off. Gallagher has a tip shot. That's saved. The Habs get another power play. That leads to a shorthanded goal for Seattle. Yanni Gourde, he scores at 9:26, and that was on a mishandle by Weidman. I don't think he knew Gourde was there, and Gourde just puts it in the net. Second shorthanded goal was scored as well by Appleton. It was offside. So very honestly, that would have made things really ugly. Habs get some zone time, needed some prime shots, but eventually they get a goal. It's Pizzetta from Evans and Byron at 14:50. The Habs then press for the lead, but they have a sloppy line change and Seattle makes them pay for it. Donato scores from Johansson and Dunn at 16:42. That makes it 2-1 for Seattle. So Paling then has a great move that he makes, but the Kraken clear it out before he's able to get to the net and score. After the first period, it's 2-1 for Seattle. We go to the second period. Early power play by the Habs. That was a no. So the Kraken, they get a turn. Becomes a 4-on-4. The Habs have a power play after that. Everything gets killed off. It's all done. Kraken are controlling at this point, and they're not getting enough shots in this game. So Blackwell has a chance that's saved. Caulfield's denied. There's some pushing and shoving after that. Seattle comes out of that with a power play, and they score on it. It's McCann from Johansson and Geekie at 15:05. So that makes it 3-1 in favor of the Seattle Kraken, and Johansson with a couple of assists there. Habs try to answer. Schwartz has a chance that's blocked. There's another Seattle power play. It's killed off. There's actually 7 seconds that roll over into the third. I took a chance and wrote killed, knowing there was 7 seconds left in the third. They didn't get it. Early press by the Habs, and they score. It's Romanov with his first goal in a while. He scores from Pitlick and Gallagher at 1:04. As Rem Pitlick continues to be this revelation for Montreal. Habs get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 5-3 for the Habs with 8 minutes left. But again, they're still down by 1. Seattle's giving the Habs very little, but at 17:48, a good break for Montreal, bad break for Seattle. Larson puts it in his own net. The goal's credited to Suzuki from Sherrod at 17:48. Armia then draws a crowd as he goes into the Seattle net and gets to know Grubauer and all of the defenders. Habs press in the final minute, but we go to overtime. In the overtime, Seattle controls on the faceoff. Suzuki has a chance that's saved. Sherratt steals. He's denied on that steal. Hoffman has a chance that's saved. Everly tips one high. Giordano's denied on a 2-on-1 for Seattle. Lehkonen has a chance that's saved and held onto. We end up going to a shootout. In the shootout, it went on for a while. Johansson ends up getting the winner. Seattle wins 4-3 in the shootout. They go to 18-37-6 with the win. For Montreal, 15-35-8 with the loss. So there you go. Seattle's now 2 points ahead of Arizona. Everything's fine. 3 stars in this one are Gourde, Romanov, and McCann, because whoever picked the stars clearly doesn't like Johansson, who had 2 assists and the shootout winner. Shots in this one, 16-9 Montreal in the first, 14-8 Seattle in the second, 9-5 Seattle in the third, 4-3 for Montreal in the overtime. Very good overtime. Final shots, 35-33 Seattle. Power plays, Seattle 1 for 3. Montreal 0 for 6. Hits were 34-16 for Montreal. Grubauer saves 30 out of 33. Good game for him. And Montembeault had a good game as well. 32 saves on 35 shots. So entertaining game, but moving along. Chicago. So Chicago in against Ottawa, and this game had kind of this dark cloud over it really early. It's Fleury versus Forsberg, early edge for the Hawks, and then Connor Murphy is downed. The Hawks come out of it with a power play. A stretcher comes out for Murphy. Now, Parker Kelly's given 5 minutes. He's kicked out of the game. Looking at the hit, I didn't know if that necessarily warranted 5 in a game. I was actually kind of surprised. When these hits happen along the boards, sometimes it's just the angle, and it's a bad angle, and a guy gets badly hurt. And to me, that's what it looked like more than a vicious run. Now, there may be an angle that shows there was something really vicious behind the hit. But Kelly, even as he was leaving the ice, you could see him talking to other staff members and like, I didn't mean to do. And I believe that. I think there was no malicious intent there. If you believe that, well, if there's an injury, there should be, consequences. All right, so that's your consequence for Kelly. I'll be interested to see if we do see Department of Player Safety do something with Kelly, and then if we do see another angle. Because, again, the angles that I saw, I didn't see anything that told me this is a vicious board. It just, Murphy was vulnerable there. He gets hit. We do want to see boards taken out of the games. Those boarding penalties are just, there's going to be Sadly, I do think at some point somebody's going to end up getting paralyzed with some of these hits. Players are so big, they're so fast. So Murphy is at last I heard, which was on Hockey Night in Canada, they talked about it. It sounds like he's okay. He did travel with the team after the game. So as bad as that looked, he gave a thumbs up as he left the ice, and we'll see how long he's out. It has to be a concussion. Absolutely has to be, but he didn't go straight to the hospital, so that's good news. But that 5-minute power play, Ottawa scores during that. It's Connor Brown from 4 men at 3:18, and then they kill off the rest of that 5 minutes. So Sanford versus Taves happens. I didn't see that fight coming. Sens get a power play. Hawks kill it off. But Shabbat scores at 14:07 to make it 2-0. And then the Senators press for another. Very good first period for Ottawa. Lafferty has a net drive. He's forced wide late in the period. But it's 2-0 Ottawa after one. Second period. They mentioned that Murphy stayed in the arena. Again, that's a really good sign that it wasn't this huge medical emergency that once they got him out of there, they're like, okay, he doesn't have to go to the hospital right now. Doesn't mean he doesn't after, just he didn't go right now. Taves ends up scoring from Kane at 58 seconds. Then the Hawks get a power play. Taves scores from Kane at 2:39. So suddenly the lead is gone. And your momentum is now all in favor of Chicago. He absolutely wired it, and then the Hawks press for the lead. There's another press by the Hawks after that. Forsberg holds on that. Caleb Jones is denied more pressure, and then Caleb Jones scores from Seth Jones and Brandon Hagel at 9:07. So that puts Chicago in the lead. They mentioned, too, at this point that Tyler Johnson's in concussion protocol. And it was one of those plays that you don't really think a whole lot of at the time. But, yeah, he's in concussion protocol. We'll see how long he's out. Remember, he just came back from disc replacement surgery. It'd be a shame if Chicago lost him this quickly. Hawks get another power play. Sens killed it off, but then after that, Nick Paul has a rush. He scores from Zub and Josh Brown at 15:41. So it's suddenly a tie game for 8 seconds. 8 seconds later, it's Lafferty from McCabe and Carpenter. So at 15:49, Chicago goes back into the lead, and that's your score after the second period, 4-3 for Chicago. Third period, Hawks press at 3 minutes, but we didn't have any shots in this period in the first 6 minutes of it. Hawks press, Forsberg saves, and then at 8:55, Caleb Jones gets the second goal of the game from Doc and McCabe. The Hawks score again. They reviewed it to see if it was a high stick, and the review says it was a good goal. It was not a challenge, so there's no power play out of that. It was the league looking at it. So Strome scores from Seth Jones and Kane at 10:04 with a stick that they decide is below the crossbar and below his shoulders. It was close, but yeah, I could see that being a good goal. And honestly, that third period was such a good shutdown period for Chicago. They end up winning this one 6-3. They go to 22-30-8 with the win. For Ottawa, 21-32-5 with the loss. And if you're wondering, well, why would we care about these games? Because draft lottery positions are being decided as we speak. 3 stars are Taves, Caleb Jones, and Kane. So all 3 stars are Chicago. I can't argue with that. Shots 10-6 in the first in favor of Ottawa, 15-10 Chicago in the second, 7-3 in favor of Chicago in the third. Final shots 28-23 for the Blackhawks. Power plays, Chicago won for 3. Ottawa only had 1 power play, didn't score on it. Final shots 25-19 for Ottawa. Fleury saves 20 out of 23. Forsberg saves 22 out of 28. Rough night for Forsberg. Definitely looked like Chicago knew where to shoot on him. And this is that thing. When a goaltender starts playing a lot, teams around the league start to kind of get a book on him. So we'll see if that's the case or if this is just a rough night for Forsberg. All right. Next up, Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks in against New Jersey tonight. A battle between one team that is out of the race and one that's trying really hard not to be out of the race, but they probably are. So it's Stolars versus Dawes. New Jersey wearing the jersey, which I laugh every time I see it because I'm 12. Hughes with a net feed. That's defended. I wear hockey jerseys every day. Of course I'm 12. Devils press at 4 minutes. The shots are 6-1 for New Jersey at 7 minutes. We get a crossbar then for Henrique. Doesn't count as a shot on net. And then Terry scores from Comtois at 11:02. And it was scored on a rush. And it was only the third shot of the game for Anaheim. And New Jersey had 10 at that point. So the Devils press with 4 minutes left. Bastian has a rush chance. He fires wide. But it's 1-0 Anaheim after 1. Second period. Fowler breaks up a chance. However, Tatar would score from Boquist at 2:39 to tie up the game at 1. Fowler then nearly answers. VC has a net drive that saved. The Devils press. They had some momentum going there as well. We get some hugging and punching at 5:34, because what goes better with hugs than punches? Shots are 9-4 for the Devils at the half. So again, they outplayed Anaheim for large stretches of this game, but the score is tied. Devils rush, near miss for Zacha there. Power play for the Devils, that's killed off. Devils get another power play, it's also killed off. Third period, still tied at 1 here. Early press by the Ducks, we end up with a power play for Anaheim. Shorthanded chance for McLeod is saved and held, meaning a face-off at the Anaheim end. Good cycle, but killed off. Momentum with the Ducks, though. The Ducks go back to the power play. The Devils kill it off. And then after that, Mercer was denied on a good opportunity he had. Milano with a big hit on Jack Hughes. In the last minute, there's a press by the Devils, but we go to overtime yet again. Fowler is robbed during that. Sharon Govich controls it. The Ducks win a face-off, and they set things up. Devils get it back. They set up. So setting up meaning coming back into their own zone and figuring it out and then go. Hughes is denied on a rush, but he draws a power play. Stolarz denies Hughes again. We end up going to the shootout. In the shootout, it is Tatar and Bratt that score for New Jersey. They win in the shootout 2-1. They go to 22, 32, and 5 for Anaheim. They really need to start winning games. They're just not getting it. 27, 24, and 10 is their record. 3 stars are Tatar, Dawes, and Stolarz, both goaltenders in the 3 stars. Your shots, 15-8 New Jersey in the first, 11-9 New Jersey in the second, 15-11 Anaheim in the third. In the overtime, 3-2 for New Jersey. Final shots, 40-32 for the Devils. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 2, New Jersey 0 for 3. Hits, 17-16 New Jersey. Stolarz saves 39 out of 40. Dawes saves 33 out of 34. Next up is Detroit in against Calgary. And Detroit, wow. So, Greiss versus Markstrom. If I could just put Greiss's face up here, that's probably what I do, because for the first 2 periods, it was the Thomas Greiss show. Raymond has a chance that's blocked. The shots are 4-0 for the Flames at 5 minutes. That was a harbinger of things to come. Greiss was keeping it scoreless. Again, harbinger of things to come. Toffoli has a chance to deflect out. The Flames get a power play, and they score on it. It's Lindholm with his 30th of the year from Anderson and Tkachuk at 9:22. So Lindholm stays hot. The Flames are ahead. We know if they have a good start, they have a very good chance of finishing the game with the win. So Wings are held to 1 shot with 5 minutes left, and they'd stay there. They would stay at 1 shot for the rest of the period. Hanifin has a chance saved. Backlund with a rush. He fires high. And in the last minute, Raymond fires one wide to ensure the Wings only have the 1 shot. Second period. Better start for the Wings. The shots are 3 apiece at 6 minutes. And then it stops being even. Toffoli's denied on a break. The Wings are stuck on 4 shots for the game. 30 minutes through it. Flames have some pressure with 9 minutes left. Seider defends a 2-on-1. So the defense was good for Detroit. Wings get a power play. That's killed off. The Flames in the second half start really taking control again. Giovanni Smith is denied, and then there's some shoving after that. So it's 1-0 in favor of Calgary after 2. And I agree with the announcer saying this is the most lopsided 1-0 game he'd ever seen. There was no business for Detroit to be in this game whatsoever. This should have been 4-5-0, but Greiss was fantastic. So third period, Flames press at 2.5 minutes. Seider has a chance that's blocked. Coleman's denied on a rush. The Wings press at 5.5 minutes. Larkin fires one wide. So does Raymond. Best stretch of the game for the Wings, though, because they're getting opportunities and they're pushing in Calgary zone. But we get a power play for the Flames, and they score on it. The penalty kill lets Detroit down tonight. It's Toffoli from Tkachuk and Gaudreau at 8:25. And then Giovanni Smith drops the gloves with Milan Lucic. They have a nice tilt. Wings end up getting a power play. Vrana has a chance saved. That's killed off. And then the insurance marker is scored by Coleman from Tanev and Stone at 15:38. It was challenged, but it's a good goal, meaning Flames get a power play out of it as well. The Wings kill that off, but it allows Calgary to win the game and get another shutout. That's their 11th of the year, I believe. The record's 15. So for Calgary, the 3-0 win puts them at 36-15-7. Detroit 24-28-7. Calgary's played a lot of games this week, and they've done a very good job of winning as many as they can. 3 stars are Markstrom, Lindholm, and Anderson, because whoever picked the 3 stars must have hated Greiss. I can think of no reason for Thomas Greiss not to be in the 3 stars. The shots in the first period, 19-1 Calgary. Second period, 12-4 Calgary. They outshot them 31-5 through 2 periods, and the score's 1-0. And then in the third, Detroit wakes up. They outshot Calgary 14-12. Final shots, 43-19 for Calgary. Power plays, 0 for 2 for Detroit, 2 for 3 for Calgary. Hits, 23-13 for Calgary. Greiss saves 40 out of 43. Markstrom saves all 19 shots for the shutout. And yeah, I believe that's his 9th of the season as well. Not too shabby. And for Detroit, yeah, they just seem to have fallen off of a cliff over the last, 10 days? And this is the ugliest stretch they've had this year. All right, now it's time to change boards. So the Rangers were due for a game like this, and they did exactly. You know, I said in the preview that with Oettinger not having Holtby as a backup, it wouldn't matter how many goals he allowed. He's going to have to stay in. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, it's Shesterkin versus Oettinger. They were wearing the Rave jerseys, and early on they seemed to help. 49 seconds in, Lindell scores from Hanley. And then at 4:53 on their 5th shot, Sagan scores from Kiviranta, and then the Stars are pressing for more. However, the Rangers wake up. Brodzinski hits the crossbar, and this is where I point out, Stars need to watch the turnovers. They don't. McKegg scores from Miller and Gauthier at 9:45. The shots are 8-6 for the Rangers halfway through the period. We get a power play then for the Rangers as well. And the power play goal is scored by Zibanejad from Strome and Panarin at 12:59. The lead is gone. And then the Rangers get the lead. It's Fox from Trouba and Panarin at 14:14. So Panarin's had a great game in the first period. And then 36 seconds later, he's like, why don't I score a goal? So he does. From Miller and Hunt at 14:50. Panarin then fires wide on a rush. So ho-hum, why can't you get more points in the first period? Sagan's denied in the final minute because we can't have nice things. It's 4-2 for the Rangers after 1. Second period, early power play for the Rangers. Oettinger saves on Miller, holds the puck, and that power play is killed off. Gurianov has a net feed that's defended. The Stars get a power play, can't set it up. We get 26 seconds of 5-on-3, however. Hintz hits a post, and then Robertson scores with 1 second left in the 5-on-3. From Klingberg and Hintz at 7 minutes and 11 seconds. It goes in off of Robertson's glove. The funny thing was, he reacted like, that's not going to count. And the referee said, no, it deflected. You didn't intentionally bump it in with your glove. It just deflected. It counts. So no challenge on that either. The rest of the power play was killed off. Rangers press with 2 minutes left, and eventually they get a goal. It's Nemeth from Panarin and Hunt at 18:18. That restores the 2-goal lead for the Rangers. So we go to the third. Kreider has a rush chance that save. The Rangers press at 5 minutes. Ben's denied as the Stars push, and then it's Pavelski. Pavelski makes it a 1-goal game again from Hintz and Klingberg at 8:09. Perfect tip. The Stars press to tie it. However, on a rush, Barclay Goodrow restores the 2-goal lead from Hedel. So 14:07, it becomes 6-4, and that's a goal where I'm going to say straight out, I think Oettinger really needed to stop that one. It was a good shot by Goodrow, sure, but from where it was and the fact he could see it, you need a save there. Kreider, then with a rush chance, he nearly adds another. They pull the goaltender with more than 3 minutes left. The Stars press, but the Rangers are shot blocking, and then Strome hits the empty net to make it 7-3 from Hunt and Panarin. 7-4. I got the wrong. Let me just fix that. I guess I tried to take away Pavelski's goal. Anyways, your final score is 7-4, so that's better than 7-3. Not really. Dallas drops to 32, 22, and 3, and by the end of tonight, they are now sitting outside the playoffs. The New York Rangers, 37, 17, and 5. They keep pace with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So your 3 stars in this one, Panarin, Lindell, and Miller. I honestly, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, I don't like those 3 stars either. This was a night of 3 stars I wasn't a huge fan of. Keandre Miller I'm fine with. Panarin I'm fine with, but probably should have been 3 Rangers. Anyways, the shots, 14-11 Rangers in the first, 13-8 Dallas in the second, 9-7 Dallas in the third. Final shots, 33-29 Dallas. Both power plays go 1 for 2. You guys can see why I don't do the 3 stars every day, because there are times I just look and go, yeah. Anyways, the hits were 23-19 for Dallas. Shesterkin saves 29 out of 33. Oettinger, rough night for Oettinger. 22 saves on 28 shots. So he's going to have to dust himself off and get ready for the next one, because it looks like Holtby could be out for a bit, so it's going to be Oettinger's net. All right. That being said, San Jose. So the Sharks at home against the Kings. Sharks love playing the Kings. This year, the Sharks just love playing the Kings. It's Peterson versus Hill in this one. The Sharks press at 2 minutes. Strong forecheck, though, by the Kings. They had that going on tonight. They had opportunities. Dahlin can't bury one. Peterson sharp. The Sharks, though, they get a power play and they score on it. It's Meyer from Burns and Bonino at 9:19. Hurdle almost adds another, and then Nieto does. He scores from Bonino at 11:55. Kings get a power play. Chance to answer, and that's killed off. Bonino has a chance that's saved and held. And then in the final minute, San Jose makes it 3-0 as Dahlin scores from Meyer at 19:11 on a turnover. So the Kings turning over the puck in and amidst everybody getting hurt. So we go to the second period. We're going to get into everybody getting hurt here. Quiet start in terms of shots. The Kings with some zone time, but again, they're not getting the shots at that point. Dahlin with a rush chance. That's fired wide. Brown gets shaken up. I mean, it's a shot block, but it's not because it's his own player shooting the puck, and it hit him in the hand. And you could see he had his hand kind of, wrapped as he was leaving. He had his hand, a towel there. So that didn't look good. He didn't return to the game, so we don't know how long he's going to be out. This is a team that's already lost a lot of players over the last week. Gadjevich then has a chance that's saved. The Sharks go to the power play. They score on this one as well. Hurdle from Meyer and Burns at 8:05. So the storyline of LA's special teams being an issue is really starting to come to the fore, because now that they're dealing with injury issues that are definitely affecting their 5-on-5 attack, now those special teams problems really get amplified. Sharks nearly added another after that. Kopitar has a chance. That's defended. Bonino's denied and close. Sharks score, but it's waved off for goalie interference. Anderson Dolan can't bury one, but after the second period, it's 4-0 in favor of San Jose. Third period, things get pushy after an offside, and then you get some punches. So you get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 out of that. Roy is out, lower body injury. He won't return. So they lose Matt Roy and Dustin Brown in the same game. Top 6 forward and a top 4 defenseman. That's tough. Kings have a 2-on-1 that fizzles out. Good defense on that. I think it was Magna blocked that out. Shots are 6-1 for the Kings at the half. I don't know how many of those were dangerous, but they didn't get another shot the rest of the period. Hurdle would answer for San Jose from Balcers and Barabanov at 15:04. Not the best of defense on that one, but again, remember, they're short of defensemen at this point, so they could be wearing down, and it's already 4-0. That made it 5-0. Last minute, the Sharks get a power play. That just allows them to get the shutout. Your final score is 5-0 in favor of San Jose. They go to 26, 25, and 7. They're back above 500. LA 32, 20, and 8 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Meyer, Hill, and Bonino. Your shots 15-11 LA in the first, 12-8 San Jose in the second, and 6-4 LA in the third. Final shots 29-27 for the Kings. Power plays LA 0 for 1, San Jose 2 for 3. The hits 29-19 in favor of the Kings. Peterson, I've got Pedersen there. It's Peterson. 22 saves on 27 shots. Hill saves all 29 shots for the shutout. Nice return for Aiden Hill. Always been a goaltender that I've liked. Nice to see him get the shutout tonight. And kind of helps out teams behind LA as well that are hoping that things maybe fall apart just a little bit. And the injury bug is definitely causing them a lot of headaches. Next up, Tampa Bay in against the Edmonton Oilers, which needs a score. All right, all fixed up. That's what happens when right after the game, I'm like, I got to get the review done. So, Elliott versus Koskinen in this one. The shots are 1 apiece at 3.5 minutes. Joseph fires one into the crowd, which looked kind of scary. Hopefully that didn't hit anybody, because seriously, he blasted over the. It wasn't on purpose, but still, those pucks go into the crowd. They can do some damage. Draisaitl's denied. The Oilers press. Point fires one wide from the slot. There's a press by Tampa Bay at 8.5 minutes, but eventually it's Edmonton opening scoring. McDavid goes beast mode. It's just the only way to put it. Just like, all right, I'm going to the net, and it's going in the net, and it did. From Yamamoto and Barry at 10:02, and then the Oilers press for more. Now Tampa Bay gets a power play, but there's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that's defended, but Edmonton kills off the power play. It allows 2 shots. Cassian throwing some hits, draws a cheer from the crowd. Oilers get a power play. It becomes a 5-on-3. The Oilers call a timeout with 9 seconds left in said 5-on-3. Whatever they discussed doesn't work out. Kane fired one wide. It's killed off. 1:24 left. The Oilers go back to the power play. That led to a shorthanded chance for Cirelli that he couldn't bury in the closing seconds, but it's 1-0 Oilers after 1. They played a very good first period. Second period, crossbar for McLeod as the power play ends. The Bolts then get a power play. Kucherov, Killorn both had opportunities that were saved. There's more Kucherov chances that are stopped or fired wide. As the power play's killed off, it registered 3 shots. It's kept off the board. Crossbar then for Foegele on a rush. Maroon has a net drive. That's defended. The Oilers get a power play. Keith has a chance that's saved and held. Stamkos blasts a chance wide that's on a turnover. So the Oilers end up getting another power play with 2:16 left. Everything's been killed off to this point. And they score on this one, which makes me wonder about the stat line I was reading for this game that clearly is incorrect. So let me go ahead and fix that. Where's the mark? There's the marker I was using for that. So it's McDavid on the power play from Barrie and Draisaitl in 1916. Then we get a crossbar from McLeod before the period's out. But the score is 2-0 for the Oilers. Another orange and blue team, the Islanders. Honest mistake. We go to the third period with the score 2-0. Ryan has a rush chance that's saved. The Oilers press, draw themselves another power play. There's a 2-on-1. McDavid and Yamamoto both fail to bury it. Yamamoto had a few opportunities. No idea how Elliott makes the save there. Bolts killed it off, but the Oilers are in control at this point. Archibald's denied on a fast break, his first game in 10 months. Sorelli's denied on a rush. Hyman can't bury one as the Oilers press. And then it's Bogosian. Scores from Perry and Maroon at 9:42. But there was a hit that was thrown before the puck went in. So when the puck goes in, they don't care. As a brawl breaks out, we end up with a fight between Sergachev and Archibald. The Bolts come out of that with a power play, which Archibald pointed out to all of the fans around him who are yelling at him or just behind him in the box. He's just holding up 2 fingers and looking at the crowd like, there's 2 of them and there's 1 of me, so it's our power play. But the joke's on him because they end up with a power play for 1 minute and 23 seconds. So I'm sure at that point it's like, hey, we're going to score. They don't. Kucherov blasts one high. The next one's blasted wide. The Oilers did a good job of clearing it, keeping him to the outside for the most part. They kill it off. And then Draisaitl scores at 12:52 to put the score back up to a 2-goal lead for Edmonton. Oilers get a power play. That's killed off. Goalie's pulled with 3:20 left. That allows Yamamoto to score a goal. Kane fires it down the ice. Yamamoto runs just down the ice, gets it, puts it in the empty net at 17:46. And that made it a 3-goal game. And that's your final, 4-1. The Oilers go to 32-23-4. They have the 1 extra game played above Dallas. They have 1 extra point above Dallas. They are above the playoff line. Tampa Bay 37-15-6 with the loss. This road trip's been rough for them. They've had a bad week. Your 3 stars are McDavid, Koskinen, and Draisaitl. Again, surprised Elliott's not on there because he's the only reason this score is close. Your shots, 19-8 Edmonton in the first, 14-13 Edmonton in the second, 16-11 Edmonton in the third. Final shots are 49-32 for the Oilers. Power plays, Tampa 0 for 4. Edmonton, by my count, 1 for 7 because the McDavid goal, as far as I know, that's a power play goal. Hits 26-25 Edmonton. Elliott saves 45 out of 48. Koskinen saves 31 out of 32. I remember all the way back to a couple months ago where Koskinen was the goalie that everybody said they had to get rid of. And now he's pretty good. So this is sometimes why it's better that the GMs don't necessarily make that move when a goalie's cold, because now he's really heated up and he's doing quite well. And so we'll see if that stays that way for the Oilers over the foreseeable future. But he's definitely the starter right now, and he's doing quite well. Let me know your thoughts regarding these games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.